One of the most stunning endings in WrestleMania history sees Stone Cold Steve Austin align with Mr. McMahon to regain the WWE Championship. WrestleMania 17 was in many ways the last stand for WWE's Attitude Era. Steve Austin and Triple H formed a two-man power trip as an impending invasion from WCW and ECW would forever alter WWE. So much talent in one spot would lead to the brand split and a new era, one of ruthless aggression. And at WrestleMania 20, WWE returned to its roots in New York City, proudly featuring two ring generals competing for the WWE Championship, with Eddie Guerrero defending against Kurt Angle. From his arrival to WWE in late 1999, Kurt Angle was an absolute natural in a WWE ring. His rookie year would see him capture the European, Intercontinental, and WWE Championships, an astounding accomplishment. The Olympic gold medalist always used his three I's: intensity, integrity,
and intelligence,
to either be a champion or to be competing for a championship. Angle lost the WWE Championship to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 19 in Seattle and looked for the opposite result at WrestleMania 20. Carrying months of resentment, Kurt looked to right the wrongs as he challenged for the championship. Despite coming from a legendary wrestling family, Eddie would not receive the path to instant stardom that his opponent did. Instead, he worked his way up from Mexico to ECW and then to WCW before finally earning a chance with WWE. It took him years to finally realize his dream, and once he had, Eddie did everything he could to keep it. In 2004, Eddie won a 15-man mini Royal Rumble that granted him a match against Brock Lesnar at No Way Out for the WWE Championship. The last man he eliminated? Yep, Kurt Angle. Still, at this point, the two appeared to be on friendly terms, even if the disappointment was obvious for Kurt. And at No Way Out in San Francisco, Eddie would achieve the impossible, defeating Brock Lesnar to finally hold the WWE Championship.
It was Eddie Guerrero's time. It was his time to show that he was a top performer. So I knew Eddie was on a roll, and I knew my work was cut out for me.
Angle was victorious in a triple threat match to be named the #1 contender. On the surface, it seemed all was well. Two fantastic competitors who would battle to see who was better. But it turned out that Kurt Angle had been seething ever since that 15-man Rumble. And with his match set, he struck. Attacking Eddie while working as a special guest referee, Angle went ballistic on Latino Heat.
I felt the need to beat Eddie Guerrero, not just beat him, but beat him up and try to hurt him.
The tone was set. This was not about competition or athletic pursuit. This was about a former champion desperate to reclaim his throne, and a new champion who wasn't going to let anyone take his dreams away from him. Now it's time for you to put Kurt Angle in the silver medal position and find a way to retain Eddie Guerrero's WWE Championship at WrestleMania. But if you're not careful, Kurt's gonna grab that ankle, and you'll have two choices: tap or snap. Kurt Angle always looked to prove that his opponent had no business in the ring with him. He'd use basic mat wrestling sequences to feel his opponent out to see if he could make them uncomfortable. Eddie Guerrero knew that he had the technical skills to hang with Angle, and showing them off would be essential to his survival in the match. If Angle knew you were outmatched right away, he'd just play with you. Eddie being able to counter his way out of Angle's mat wrestling was his way of saying, "I'm the champion for a reason, and I'm just as good as you are." Nobody able to grab control, both back to their feet in the standoff. Angle looking a little surprised that Eddie was more than capable on the ground.
The reversals in this match were non-stop. Kurt would find his way out of Eddie's Three Amigos. And Eddie returned the favor when he freed himself from Angle's grasp as he attempted the rolling German suplexes. Angle's attempts to show that Eddie wasn't in his league had not gone the way he'd hoped for to this point. The anger that led him to attack Eddie in the first place now had Angle looking for a German suplex from the apron onto the floor. Luckily, Eddie was able to free himself from the situation and open up more offense for himself. An opponent like Kurt Angle was so difficult for this very reason. He was so good, he'd force you to take big risks against him in hopes of gaining that ever so important control. It appeared Angle had set him up, moving out of the way the second that Eddie dove at him from the top rope. Eddie went chest first into the barricade, taking all the air out of him. As Angle maintained his control, Eddie again grew desperate, looking for any chance to get Angle on the defensive. Perched on the top turnbuckle, Guerrero would fight back, sending Angle crashing to the mat. Looking to strike quickly, Eddie again went for broke, attempting his frog splash to a downed Angle. Each time Eddie took a risk, it failed to pay off. Was Kurt baiting him to force the mistakes, or was Eddie just rushing the opportunity? Eddie would need to make adjustments if he was going to find the victory. Eddie was attempting to rally, and Angle needed to cut it off quickly. You know Kurt means business when the straps come down. He had Eddie right where he wanted him, looking to end the match courtesy of his trademark ankle lock. Eddie hadn't taken much damage to his ankle at this point and was able to survive the painful predicament with a timely roll-up. So evenly matched, no one able to maintain a dominant position for long. Both men were unsure of their path to victory, but Angle was not going to let that throw him off his plan, as he took the champion down again with another German suplex. Eddie had fought so hard to get back into the match, struggling to get Angle back to his feet, hoping to put the finishing touches on his challenger. In the blink of an eye, Angle had managed to trap Eddie back in the ankle lock. The exhaustion was obvious, but Eddie continued to fight. Could he make it to the ropes? Was he going to tap out? Eddie reached into his bag of tricks and was able to roll forward, sending Angle crashing to the floor. Despite freeing himself from the hold, Eddie still seemed to be in a bad predicament. His ankle looked to be severely damaged, keeping him from following up with any attacks. Looking scared, Eddie began to loosen his boot, hoping to alleviate any potential swelling. The look in Angle's eyes as he went back into the ring was like a lion chasing down its prey. With the ankle lock again applied, was there anything left in Eddie? The answer was yes, as Eddie would free himself from both his loose boot and the ankle lock itself. In the confusion, Kurt would run right into a small package attempt by Eddie. And the bell rang with Eddie Guerrero finally tricking Kurt Angle, keeping his status as WWE Champion intact.
Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat himself, showing that he did indeed know all the tricks needed to defeat Kurt Angle. Whoever thought that a loose boot could ever be so helpful? A fantastic win in a very special matchup, and Eddie Guerrero remains WWE Champion at WrestleMania 20. For our next match, we go to the very next year, and WrestleMania 21 in Los Angeles, California. The card was loaded from top to bottom and would feature the first WWE and World Championship victories for two guys named John Cena and Batista. Ever heard of them? But also on this night, a dream match of the highest order was set to take place. Folks, the issue between Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle blew up so quickly and so unexpectedly. It all started at the 2005 Royal Rumble match. After falling short in a WWE Championship match earlier in the night, Angle would steal someone else's number, looking for one last chance at a WWE Championship. Shawn Michaels also had dreams of headlining another WrestleMania, and winning the Rumble match was the only place to do that. Shawn was number 19, while Kurt entered at 20. And Angle was a whirlwind of offense once he hit the ring. But it was to be short-lived, as Michaels would stun the crowd and eliminate Angle only 37 seconds after his arrival on the scene. Kurt went ballistic, attacking Shawn and eliminating him from the Rumble. A dream match that could headline any card. Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels was not going to be about stealing the show or making memories.
My issue with you goes all the way back to 1996. I won a gold medal. And people are talking to me about some guy named Shawn Michaels gliding down from the rafters that year and putting on a wrestling clinic.
Kurt would reveal an obsession with proving himself superior to Michaels in every way possible, which included defeating former partners of Michaels, along with delivering an incredible rendition of Sexy Kurt, Angle's version of Shawn Michaels' entrance theme.
I'm just a sexy Kurt. I'll make your ankle hurt. Ankle hurt! Woo!
So with all the stars out in full force for WrestleMania 21, two of the greatest all-around performers in WWE history were finally set to lock horns. And here to provide us with some first-hand insight on this contest, Kurt Angle sat down with us.
WrestleMania is just, it's the most popular sporting event of all time. It's the most important event for any pro wrestler, and when you get there and you're able to perform there, it's a true honor. I consider Shawn Michaels the greatest overall entertainer in the history of the business. Shawn is the type of individual that puts on five-star matches show after show after show. And if you don't have that five-star match with Shawn, then there's something wrong with you. You know you're gonna have to up your game, and you have to be at your very best. Once we locked horns at WrestleMania, the chemistry was there. I just thought that Shawn and I might have had possibly the greatest match of all time.
A true honor. Thank you to Kurt Angle for sharing his thoughts about his sublime encounter with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21. With that, it's time for you to show that you've got the intensity, integrity, and intelligence to defeat Shawn Michaels under the brightest lights in sports entertainment. You know Mr. WrestleMania will be looking for every opportunity to stop you in your tracks with a little sweet chin music if you get too reckless. Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle came into this match looking to prove their superiority over the other. Now, the match was about to kick up a notch. Angle, looking to suplex Shawn Michaels right through the announce table, showed how badly he wanted to injure the Heartbreak Kid in this contest. While Michaels managed to escape the attempt, he would not be so lucky on the follow-up. An Angle slam into the ring post was not what anyone was expecting to see so early. But Angle would look to target Shawn's main weak point, going for the back that had been injured in 1998 and forced Michaels out of action for 4 years.
With Shawn's back compromised, Angle kept his focus there. But HBK is never out of the match, and he was able to send Angle to the mat. Shawn went big, looking for his flying elbow. But Angle managed to roll out of the way. And with Shawn in pain on the mat, down come the straps. Angle would look to end things in quick fashion with an Angle slam attempt. Michaels turned things around quickly, managing to escape the Angle slam and then backdropping Kurt to the floor. Did Shawn have anything left? Could Michaels overcome the damage done to his back to this point and mount his own offensive attack? For HBK, there was no time to waste if he wanted to maintain control of the contest. Shawn knew how good Angle was, taking a huge risk by diving to the floor, knowing it might be the only thing that'd work at that point. And now, HBK had turned the tables, with Angle hurting on the arena floor. Michaels would reverse another angle slam attempt, only to find himself in the ankle lock. But Kurt would receive no rest here, with Michaels again reversing to a pin attempt. Back to their feet, Angle would catch a sweet chin music attempt and finally connect with the angle slam. After Shawn kicked out at 2, Angle, for a moment, seemed to lose his cool. What do I have to do to beat this guy? It only lasted a moment, though, and with Angle pulling his straps back up, only to take them right back down, he appeared focused on the task at hand once again. Defeat Shawn Michaels and prove himself as WWE's best all-around competitor. Despite controlling the match at this point, Angle would inexplicably lose his cool. His inability to defeat Shawn Michaels was causing the rage, and Angle let it all out as he screamed in Shawn's face. Michaels would break free from Angle's grip, and bam! It'd floor him with the picture-perfect sweet chin music. With Angle down, Shawn now had his chance. Did Michaels have enough strength left in that kick to knock Angle out? Could he capitalize here? Could Shawn shake off the damage he'd taken thus far and cover Angle with the pin? If Angle made it to his feet first, then Shawn's last gasp would have been all in vain. The referee continued to count. No way this would end in a double countout, right? But that was stopped, with Shawn finally getting back to his feet. Running on fumes, Kurt Angle would try once more to catch Shawn Michaels in the ankle lock. Michaels, looking out at the faces in the crowd, was not going to let these people down. Michaels fought like a wounded animal, trying everything to escape the hold. Spinning through to reverse, crawling to the ropes, and flailing around to loosen Kurt's grip. Kurt had an answer for every attempt, seemingly locking in the hold even tighter every time Shawn failed to break it. Angle had slowly taken Shawn's base away by first chipping away at his back. and now taking Shawn's leg away from him too. Once Angle had dropped down and grapevined his legs, you knew it was over. Not that Michaels hadn't got out of situations like this before. Not that he couldn't survive a submission hold. But this version of the ankle lock had proven inescapable in the past. Michaels still fought valiantly, holding on as long as humanly possible, hoping for anything to save him. The desperation was etched on his face, and he was finally faced with a decision: win the match or save your career. And forced with that choice, Shawn decided on self-preservation and tapped out in the middle of the ring, giving Kurt Angle the win in this outstanding battle.
Here is your winner, Kurt Angle.
Angle celebrated this win as if he'd become WWE Champion again, and honestly, who could blame him? And while Michaels was unable to defeat Angle, he had at least proven himself to be at the level of a gold medalist, and perhaps more importantly, had managed to save himself to fight another day. There may not be a better example of a pure wrestling match in WrestleMania history. Kurt Angle showed himself to be the ultimate grappler by forcing the submission of Shawn Michaels on this occasion. What a feather in the cap of an already Hall of Fame career for Angle. And another incredible performance by the showstopper himself, HBK. Let's be honest, nobody left this match a loser.